I went to school in Huancayo, where my abuelo actually went to school, and like.
Oh, that's beautiful.
He would like ride donkeys to school. It was like crazy.
From pidiendo the burrito at Taco Bell to riding the in Peru. Today, my name is AK. Aquí nos encontramos con Isabela Merced. We're going to get into all things Peruvian with the Peruvian mommy in the house. Girl, so let's talk about your song Agonia.
Yeah.
There's two parts. There's a lot of parts to this because you have a lot going on, which is amazing. And I absolutely love the whole like creativity behind it. So let's start with the lyrics. What was the origin of the lyrics?
The whole thing was inspired by like this classic book that was written by a Peruvian author, Jose Maria Argueda, I think.
Okay.
It was, yeah. And he, I just love La Agonia. I think Agonia is a beautiful word. And if his whole project, Kaifex's whole project is called Atipanacui, which is inspired by La Danza de las Tijeras. And so we just like, all these coincidences and our mutual admiration and adoration of our culture really just got us to where we are in the video, and where you see like this big tribute to Ayacucho and Peruvian culture.
Yeah, so Ayacucho is actually a city in Peru?
Yeah, it's actually a city in Peru. It's really high up, beautiful mountains, beautiful cathedrals, and
had you been there before?
I had not been there before.
Okay.
It was my first time, and like I'd been to like other places that were kind of similar, right, with mountains and like spiritual like temples and like churches. And,
okay, I need to go there.
Culture. but Ayacucho's different, and the food's different too. I mean, I tried a bunch of stuff. Like they have like, I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but just
yeah. How is it different then?
So according to where you are in Peru, you have different varieties of food because like that's what they're exposed to. So like there's this dish called puca picante, which was like my favorite, but like it's specific to that region. Whereas like if you're in the coast, you're gonna find like más ceviche.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The seafood.
Yeah, the seafood, and then like in Iquitos, like the Amazon, you're gonna find like these Amazonian fish. So it's like these river fish, and in the high altitude, you're gonna find different meats and different flavors and different like, I guess, corn, because Peruvian corn is like iconic, right? Like that's.
I don't know. I need to try some. Like, I recently just tried Peruvian ceviche and it changed my life.
Really?
I was like, I have some Peruvian in my heart because I forever will love this.
I love it. Yeah, when I first introduced my girlfriend to Peruvian food, she was like, "This is my favorite food ever," and I'm like, "You're welcome."
Oh yeah, so you wore a lot of amazing like vestuario too, super elegant. Were those like traditional or like more so your take on traditional?
So again, like I incorporated and included and invited other artists who are kind of doing what I'm doing, but in other facets of the industry, right? So I invited this designer. Her name is Ani Alvarez Calderon, and she's Peruvian as hell. And she,
we love that.
Yeah, and she like creates this. If you check out her work, it's like inspired by traditional garments made by people who live in those places and are getting compensated properly. Like she's definitely like a humanitarian as well when it comes to her work, and she's not one of those people who abuses, you know, workforces and laborers. And she will like put in the work and make these designs inspired by modern culture, but also traditional Peruvian textiles and fabrics, and that's what I love about her work. And also she's just like down, like she's just really cool.
For sure. So you really collaborated with your own people to bring this image forward.
For real, yeah. And I feel like I have my own little community of like Peruvians now in Peru that would just like be there for me. If I'm ever like, hey, I'm in Peru, like you want to hang out or you want to make something, like they're just always gonna be down. I mean, one thing about Peruvians, and I will say this, like they are some of the hardest workers I've ever met, and for way less pay than here in the States. Like, and maybe that's the reason why, I don't know, but the truth is like it's like they don't work because I don't know, they don't work because they want the credit or the appreciation or somebody to pat them on the back and say good job. They work because they have something to prove to themselves.
Okay.
It's really dope. I
the
see
passion that they carry.
Ethic, that passion and that effort that they put into every single little job and task that they're given. I mean, that crew of Peruvians, crazy. We had such a good time, and they're just good ass people. Like, I don't know, the majority of Peruvians, I never met a sour Peruvian. Unless there was a taxi driver once that was like hitting on my mom. I really didn't like that.
Well, shout out to your mom because we know she's cute.
I mean, like, yeah, bruh, relax.
Oye, chica. So were you always like so in touch with your roots? Or is it something that you feel like developed as you grew older?
No, so I think it was like until, so I grew up speaking Spanish primarily, and I had learned English later, and it's just so much so to a point where I just stopped speaking Spanish completely. And my mom was like, what the hell is up? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna speak Spanish anymore. You can talk to me in Spanish, but I'm only responding in English.
Right.
And she was like, what the heck?
You're trying to assimilate.
Right.
They do that to us.
Hella pressure to do that. And my mom wasn't having it though. So she was like, you're going to Peru. And I was like, I haven't been in a long time. To me, long time was 2 years. But like I always used to go as a baby. And she was like, you're going to Peru and you're gonna go. And this was like 2nd grade, I think, maybe. And she sent me there against my will for a semester. I think it was a semester. And I went to school in Huancayo, where my abuelo actually went to school, and like,
oh, that's beautiful.
You had to like ride donkeys to school. It was like crazy.
From pidiendo the burrito at Taco Bell to riding the
burrito.
In Peru.
Whenever I think about burritos, I'm like, mi burrito sabanero, mi burrito sabanero. Si me ves, si me ves.
Yeah. So that's really when you started getting in touch with your roots. Then
right.
You
so
had
I
to go
hated
back.
It at first, loved it later.
Okay.
And that's when I started falling in love. So if she hadn't forced me to like just really be immersed in my culture and living it, like Huancayo, that's Peruvian as hell. It's not like Lima. It's just like I immediately had appreciation for it, and that just grew with each time I come back to Peru.
All right, y'all, we'll get in touch with your roots because that is where the sauce is at.